I love it because I don't know.
Well, okay. So welcome to talking about diffusing. What do we diffuse? How do we diffuse? Why do we diffuse? I am so excited to share this class today. And let me go ahead and move over there. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. And we're going to highlight. I'm going to use my skills. Okay, diffusing. So diffusing is the quickest, easiest way, Palmer agrees, to getting your oils in your home. And it is often like the first way that people start. So I am excited to share just a couple of things about why it's effective and how to do it. So why we diffuse. Let me get my picture out of the way here. There we go. So this is just a little chart. I love this chart because I think it explains it so easily. But essentially, the oil molecules from the essential oils, they go into the air, and then as you breathe them in, they are met with receptors, which are right here in your olfactory bulb. And so it communicates with the brain, and the brain creates this, we have a new friend. Perfect. Welcome. Okay. So the brain, we're talking about why diffuse. I'm going to see my people. Hang on. There you go. Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just trying to get settled.
Girl, I know.
Finished a late dinner and
yes.
I'm toast. The kids didn't have school today, so we took them with some friends. I took them to Bob's Corn Maze, and they're a handful.
I hear you.
Thank gosh.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm good. My friend Steph's with us tonight too.
Hi.
And Steph.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good. I was just saying I was at work for too long today, and I didn't leave till 5:30, and you know that drive is long. So,
yes.
It's all good. But I'm excited to be here with both of you and talking about this because this stuff makes my world go around in more ways than one. Cool. Well, we're talking about diffusing and getting that diffuser in your home, as we talked about this weekend, is often the quickest way to just start using essential oils. It's easiest. You're not worried about where do I apply? How do I apply? What oils to use? It's just really this very super scientific method of grabbing your oils and smelling what combinations you like. Oh, yep. Spearmint and adaptive. And believe it or not, like if something really hits home, it's like your body needs it. And so it's kind of what we're talking about here in this chart is when the molecules from the essential oils are released into the air, it goes through to the olfactory bulb, and then it sends messages to the brain, those chemical reactions in the brain. And that's where our emotions are stored, in the limbic system. And the oils are working with our body to send us like, this is a good feeling. This is a good smell. This smell creates good feelings. And when you, especially with oils, associating certain oils with relaxing or things like that. And Stephanie and I talked a lot about that is, not wanting to just smell one oil and think, okay, it's bedtime. But I really feel like the body does with it what it needs. And so that's really why smell is so powerful. I mean, aromatherapy has been around for centuries. And so diffusing is a great way. Of course, it also kills odors. It helps support our immune systems. A lot of really good benefits from diffusing in our homes. And maybe I can click on the right thing. Okay, so first, I can't really read this very well. Using an essential oil diffuser can make any room smell wonderful. And diffusing has become incredibly popular. And it's alternative to candles or air fresheners or plugins. And those are using synthetic smells. And those synthetics can what cause us damage to our bodies. And so with essential oils, they're coming straight from the plant or the fruit or the herb, and that's nature at its best. And so a lot of times if you hear someone be like, oh, I'm sensitive to certain smells, oftentimes that is they're sensitive to the synthetic of that smell, not the real deal. However, it can happen. So moving right along. So what should you diffuse? That's the number one question, is like, what on earth do I do? So first of all, there are lots of beautiful charts like this that I share with you. And, if you have your book, Pinterest is an incredibly good option. I share a lot of these on social media, but these are just some ideas of things that you can diffuse. Diffuse for bedtime, diffuse first thing in the morning to get energy going. Diffuse just throughout the day when you're trying to support immune systems. I had 6 children in my house this weekend, and I was like, nobody's going down. So I had a bow diffusing, and I mixed it up and did On Guard, cleaning all my surfaces. But the diffusers were all going, and then getting 6 kids to bed. And so really getting in those good smells for getting ready for bedtime. Here are some other examples that I just kind of went through together. And if you're on something you want to take a screenshot, don't worry about it. If I will be sending out some more of these texts with these beautiful diffuser blends. So I just wanted to show. So when should you diffuse? I talked a little bit about that. And one of the things that I highly recommend is just having a diffuser where you are. So that's why I love the Roam diffuser, which is pictured here. It literally just has a base. You fill it up. I get ready in the morning. I have mine in the bathroom, and then I move it to the hallway where the kids are getting ready for their day. So they're getting that same benefit, and then it just eventually, winds down. Then I also have one in the kitchen. So just put them where you're at and put them out so you can see them. You don't have to go buy beautiful displays, but this is just one display that I have that's in my office. I also have my favorite thing is literally, it's a makeup tray from Target. Stop dumping all my oils in. And then they're just out, and you see them. And when you see them, you use them. So those are some tips. Any questions on when to diffuse?
I have kind of a funny question, and I don't maybe know how the best way to word it or to ask it.
No, go for it.
But I feel like a lot of these blends, and when you read about your diffuser, it's like, 3 drops of this and 2 drops of this and 1 drop of this and, this much water. But it's like, and then if you set up your diffuser, it's like an all day thing or a couple of hours. And I feel like it doesn't either go through it all or whatever. So then I feel like I'm always pouring stuff out and starting over for the next thing. Like, maybe this is just a functional problem that I have. Am I making any sense?
Yes, absolutely. Because there's always like a little bit left, right? Yeah. So first and foremost, and I was telling Lisa this trick the other day, is I usually will fill it like halfway. So I'll use all the drops. Like, even if, let's go back to this picture here. Like this is like 3 drops, 2 drops, 1 drop. I will, if I have a fun recipe like that, I will do all of them, but I'll still only fill my diffuser halfway. So like my morning example is like, I'll start getting ready at, 6:37. And by the time the kids are up and ready, like 8:30, it's done. So a diffuser that could technically run 8 hours is done after 2 because I just put that much water in. Does that help, Steph?
It does. I know I didn't ask an actual question, but
you kind of did. I got you.
Always, like we talk about doing something in the morning, we talk about something in the afternoon, and then kind of like to reset from work. And so it was like, it felt like I was always kind of fighting my way through it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. And that's not a good experience. So.
No, and I don't know. In my brain, I'm sure it's way easier than my brain wants to make it.
No, it's a really good question. And so I think like, especially for yourself, if you're kind of like, well, my home office is my home office and like, it's just one diffuser, like, what am I doing? And, and honestly, it's like, I guess the other side of it is like, don't be afraid to dump something out. You're like, I'm done with that smell. I need some adaptive. I had a really stressful meeting and I want to switch it up. And so that's where it's like, don't fill it all the way full first thing. Like just puts like, this is, I think some of my diffusers can hold maybe like half of this, like this tiny little one could hold like half of that. So I would still only fill up that much water and then get it started and then it'll run itself out. And I think that the other thing too is just like remembering to get your diffuser going can sometimes be the hardest thing. So oftentimes, especially if I'm changing throughout the day, it's like I'll grab a roller and just use my own my body as my personal diffuser. I loved my friend's tip last 2 weeks ago where she said she puts a drop in her hair. I loved that tip. I never thought of that. Like I'll run it through my hair. But diffusing doesn't always just have to be with your diffuser, which I will cover in just a second. But all to say, you can't do it wrong. I hope that helps. So we talked about these mornings, manage your stress throughout the day, wind down at night, and then just some resources. You're here tonight. doTERRA has tons of ideas as well, and I can share this link out with both of you when we're done. And that's my quick share on all of that. So when to diffuse and why? So now I just like, honestly, again, this is like, don't overcomplicate it. Literally just pull them out and smell them. What feels good to you? This, seriously, I can't get over this. It's spearmint and adaptive. It's so good. So personal diffuser, other ways. So just a drop in your hand and then you can just cup it and take a deep breath. I mean, that's diffusing too. It's just like aromatically get it into your hair, like and then I'll just go like this, or I'll like rub it around the back of my neck. Just opening it and smelling it is another way to just get it out in the air. So those are my things. Any thoughts or questions? Steph, great question, even though you felt like you didn't ask me anything. It was led to a very good conversation. And Lisa's just like, stop blowing my mind.
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand what I'm saying when I'm not actually saying anything.
I feel like,
well, I think I understood your question, Steph, to be more like about the recipe. Like, am I using too much water? It's lasting too long. Like, how can I manage it for a specific amount of time and not feel like I'm wasting any product? That was the question that I got from what you were sharing. Was that your question?
Yeah. I mean, in a way, yes. I feel like there's lots of pieces to it, but yes, essentially that's part of it. But yes, Katie is very good at deciphering my nonsense.
So glad we met.
Yeah, I'm just like, holy cow, I want it all and I can't get it all right now, right? It's like that thing you just want to be like, give it all so I can just start it all, but it's a step process at times.
Yeah.
When you're saying like put it in your hands and stuff, how would I know which oils can be applied directly to the skin versus other ones that need to have like a coconut oil, conduit, whatever. What's the word?
Dilution. Yeah. Technically, all of them should quote be diluted. But there are particular hot oils, so oregano, cinnamon, thyme, clove, that you should make sure you're always like adding coconut oil or lotion with them before you use them. But most of these, the main reason to dilute is so that it will be able to be absorbed in the skin better. My favorite story to tell